Do not start one of these YouTube automation channels. And the reason why I say this is because nowadays, this market of YouTube automation has become so outdated and so oversaturated where everyone's trying to get into this red market of going viral, building this fan base, getting a bunch of subscribers, getting tons of views as soon as possible. And that just doesn't work anymore. Instead, I want to show you this new system and the new shift of making YouTube videos that is a lot more sustainable, a lot cheaper, and that can also print you more money for a substantially longer period of time as well. So if that is something that you want, I want you to watch this entire video to the very end, full screen it, and if you can't stay for 20 minutes to learn a skill that will probably change the trajectory of how you make money in the future, that tells me everything I need to know about your ability to become successful this year as well as the coming years. You can see that this is the usual YouTube automation channel that everyone knows of going viral, getting subscribers, making faceless content that gets a bunch of views. If I zoom in, you can see this is a great example. Police chase. Everyone knows about the police chase niche, I would say. 3 million views, 900,000 views, 700,000 views. This video got 1.4 million views in 4 months. You know, everyone heard of the long form strategy or the ultra long form strategy where you try to get, 5-hour clips, 4-hour clips to try to make people go to sleep. And sure, upon hindsight, this looks like a foolproof system to make money passively and anonymously. But this is just too outdated because literally everyone going into this red ocean of saturation. And what a lot of gurus don't show you is that for every one channel that is successful like these two, there is hundreds of other channels that are printing 87 subscribers with 208 views in 3 months. Midnight Feels. Okay, you can see all these channels right here. Now, this is obviously not a smart channel because they're making like 4-minute long videos, but there are hundreds of channels out there getting 18 views in 3 months, 41 views in 3 months, 9 views in 3 months. It's still relatively very, very saturated compared to literally all the other channels like these ones that are printing in pretty decent income. So this is basically what I want you to do instead, rather than trying to go the viral route of getting a bunch of subscribers, building a fan base, faceless content, all that crap. This is the new meta, okay? This is what I like to call the evergreen concept, which I personally do myself. It's how I grew all these channels right over here. And the way that this kind of concept works is that we're not creating content to go viral. We're not creating content towards a fan base. You can see these are like just 4 of my videos across thousands of videos that I have that are not shown within this video, just for the sake of making this video not too long. This is one of my prime examples. I don't know why I can't zoom in more. This is the maximum. But if I make this a lot bigger, you can see in the first day, we did 146 views, 825 euros generated, and 537,000 views lifetime. So although it was dead at first sight and none of my videos are created in a sense to go viral, they almost always end up going viral lifetime-wise, getting hundreds of thousands of views, hundreds if not thousands of dollars. This is not my most earned video by any means. This is just one of my random examples I chose. This is another great example. You can see, if I go over to here, this video got 69 views in 7 days, which is absolutely terrible. If your video got 69 views in a week, it's a dead video that will have no chance of going viral. But this video still ended up getting over 292,000 views because it's an evergreen video that started to get views inevitably after about 200-ish days. So an evergreen video, which is basically on an event or a concept that is timeless, that is not based on a trend, they will never be deemed as dead. They will always, no matter what, get views eventually, or maybe even as soon as, a couple days into the video being live on YouTube. So this video ended up generating, it doesn't have a high RPM, $271 in euros, I mean. Now, I have some other examples right over here that have a very, very high RPM. So this video, it made 5 euros in the first 2 months. Okay, now keep in mind, because a lot of these videos are a lot easier to make, evergreen concept videos are not as fancy, you can basically create and outsource all of the production process for about $5, which I've personally done myself. So I ROI'd. I made a return on investment after 60 days, which is absolutely terrible. It took me 2 months to make my money back, but now this video has 100-folded. It made me, the money back 99 plus more times after who knows how long, because the lifetime shelf of these videos are literally super, super enormous. And sure, this video got literally only 34,000 views. It was like 10 times less than this example that I showed you in the first place, but it also made 597 euros because the RPM on this video is super high. I don't know what it is exactly right off the bat, but you can do the math. It's like $20 or something ridiculous. And it ended up making me, hundreds of dollars, and it has no signs of slowing down anytime soon. It's been like almost 2 years now since I published this video, and it will probably make me another 500 euros next year. And then 5 to 10 years later, this can make me thousands upon thousands of dollars. And so will these other pieces of content as well, because they are on timeless events that will never die out. Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like this video if that makes sense. And also, this is a super, super good example of why you should never quit too early. Everyone quits too soon. This video made me 46 cents in the first 30 days. You thought $5 in 2 months was bad? Try 46 cents in 30 days. And then after like 60 days, it was probably like $1. So this video took longer than usual to start getting views. It only got 2,000 views lifetime as well, but it made me 92 euros, which means that the RPM was about $50, 50 euros on this piece of content. So not only do you need, not a lot of views, you only need, if you're targeting the right people to watch your content and you have a super good RPM, you only need a couple thousand views per day to make a pretty good income for yourself off of just purely ad revenue. You don't even have to monetize externally. And obviously, counting the brand deals that you run on these channels, you can literally make 2x of money just off of brand deals and not the and not just off of AdSense alone. So this is a really, really prime example of the evergreen concept, because now, instead of trying to go viral, instead of like trying to copy what works and what everyone's telling you to do, make ultra long form or make police chase, make celebrity news, there are hundreds, if not thousands of other people in the same boat as you. Now, this isn't even a niche. The evergreen concept, notice how I said it's not the evergreen niche, because this is only a way for you to get views. There's no such thing as a niche or a fan base or specific ideas. All you have to do, because there are millions upon millions of different ideas that are not based on trends in this real life, that you can actually work off to create content. So you're not going to be competing against a red sea of a million other people. You're just finding video content that is always going to be in demand. So there's always going to be a market for it. Whereas if there's always going to be, a smaller supply, or the supply hasn't caught up to the size of the demand, you can capitalize on it right away. And the chances of success is like 90 to 95%. The reason why this video took so long to actually get views was because I capitalized on a very, very new kind of like AI tool that was not even talked about that much, but I found it from market research, topic research, and then a couple months later, now that's getting more traction, it's getting more popular. Now that's why I start to pick up views and obviously make me the money that I'm supposed to get. So that being aside, I want to show you exactly how this full evergreen process works. Lock in this video full screen, take some notes if you have to, and if you want one-on-one mentoring and you want me to help you personally do this, you can go to the link in the description of this video to apply for one-on-one coaching, and I'll help you implement this exact evergreen done-for-you system into your own brand new or even dead channel that you have sitting around, and help you make 5 to 10K per month off of the evergreen system. So check out the link in my bio, and other than that, let's get into this video. So the full evergreen process are going to be broken down to these 3 fundamentals. Where's my face? I want to see my face in this video. That is not good. That is not good, bro. There we go. Number 1, you have to create value or solution-based content, not entertainment content. Now, number 1, entertainment content is not going to only give you a very, very low RPM, but it's going to be dying out very, very soon, because they can only watch your content once, and you're going to get most likely fans watching your video. A lot of your content is going to be created just to watch once. Otherwise, once you've watched an entertainment piece of content, they're done watching it. You never watch a Mr. Beast video more than 3 times. But when it comes to education or knowledge-based, if you forget that knowledge, you have to go back to the video. Let's say I want to reset, or I want to fix a car I want to fix my Corvette that just broke because the cooling system failed. I have to watch a YouTube video on how to do it if I don't want to bring it to the shop. Okay, I'm going to watch the YouTube video. Boom, I can figure out how to do it. And then if I have another car that I buy 10 years later, that's like another Corvette or whatever crap. The point is, you're not going to get, people can watch your content many, many times over and over again when it's value or knowledge based. But not only that, you're going to get a lot of new viewers, not returning viewers. That's very, very important, because if you get new viewers to watch your content, you're always going to be growing and you're always going to be getting views no matter what. Because that's how it stays in demand all of the time. It's not going to be, it's for the most part, it's not going to be returning viewers watching your video over and over again. That could happen, but majority of the time, it's actually brand new people 5 years later, or maybe even a generation later from 20 years ago that will click on your video that you posted today about how to fix a car, or how to, I'll give you better examples later in this video as it goes on. But the point is, your video stays in demand because it's relevant for people generations and years and decades beyond you or even in front of you. It does not matter. So create value or solution-based content. The very second thing is you have to make sure that the content is digital. So that first video idea, that car video, is terrible. Do not do that. That was just a random example off the top of my head. The reason why is because if you want to actually outsource and scale your channels later down the line, you have to make it digital. You cannot have it as, recorded from a camera or professionally taken, because you can't really scale that, and it's hard to actually create a bunch of videos that are IRL and produce at a scale. Whereas if you can make videos digitally with your computer. For example, this video that I'm making right now, I can make this video with just my phone and my computer. Don't need anything else. The cost of this video is $0. The cost of, obviously outside of hiring the right freelancers to make the content for you. Digital content is easier to scale, it's cheaper, and also you can get a higher RPM, usually with digital content. And the third thing is it has to be a timeless idea. It cannot be based on a trend, or else your evergreen content will completely go to zero. You're not going to get views like my other graphs I showed you somewhere up here, right? So it's very, very important that you do things on digital apps or softwares, or even just concepts, or just maybe you could even niche down to supplements. Anything that is just timeless, that will be used for and watched for forever. So once you understand these three fundamentals of the evergreen system, I want to show you some really, really good examples of actual tangible video ideas, so then you can implement them into your own channel, maybe even take the same video ideas, and obviously basically guarantee that you'll become successful with a right evergreen money printing channel. So this is a very good example that got 1.9 million total views, and the topic is, what does creatine do? Because the key here is creatine. That is never going to die out. That's not based on a trend. Sure, there were some times here and there where creatine was spoken about more than others, but as a longevity whole, this is going to be a supplement that will be forever taken, forever watched at, and forever researched, because 5 years later, there's going to be another 12-year-old that wants to get into the gym, that wants to learn about creatine. And obviously their parents are going to, do their market research before buying it. And so you're going to get views and you're going to get paid. Now notice, the very first day it was published, it got only 244 views, which is not great whatsoever, but that's part of the game plan, because literally it was posted in 2021-ish, and 4 years later, it's still getting views to this day. The graph of it is literally never going to die out. Based off of this, it can get another 2 million views in the next 5 years. And off of ad revenue alone, that's about $4,000 to $5,000, maybe even $6,000 off of this video that this channel has created. So this applies to a lot of it. It's timeless. You can make it this digital. You can literally just have a Miro board like me and talk with steps and text to explain what the concept of creatine is. So it's very, very easy to create this piece of content, and it's value or solution based, right? It's value based because you're giving them knowledge that they have to know, or else they're not going to know if they should buy creatine or what this even is. And so at the end of the day, you're going to be creating content that already has a demand, where also these channels are created in a way where they are coming to you. What do I mean by that? The audience is searching for your video. They are looking for the product. I'm not pushing my product to the audience to try to get sales. I'm getting sales by just creating the product that is always in demand, and all the consumers are coming over to me. So my ability to get clicks and to convince people to watch my video is substantially higher because this video is not made for entertainment. I'm not trying to convince a million people to watch my video to go viral. I'm just simply creating a supply, aka the video, to give a solution for the massive demand that is always going to stay relevant of tons of people, parents, kids, wondering if creatine is going to be good for them. So they are going to us. We are not going to them. That's the biggest thing that you have to understand when it comes to the Red Sea of going viral, YouTube automation versus this evergreen concept. If I boil it down into the previous ones, like all these ones, you're making content to try to convince people to click on your video. No one's going to search for, sometimes we have to let go. People only clicked on this video because they thought it was interesting, they thought it was cool, and you convinced them to watch it. It's a really big guessing game. If you don't get, other people to convince, you don't get enough people to watch your next video, or you're just bad at convincing and you fell off, then you're not going to get views whatsoever. This is not based on any skill. It's genuinely just a supply for content that already has enough convincing for people to click on. Does that make sense? This is the second example, how to find your caloric maintenance. Very, very similar concept. I guarantee you someone out there is going to be fat enough where they want to cut and obviously lose weight. Now, I personally wouldn't watch this video because I'm already super lean. I'm handsome. I'm just built different. But there's going to be a fat mother that's going to be trying to lose weight, or maybe a fat man, and they want to calculate their maintenance calories, or they want to calculate how to figure out how many calories you have to eat per day. And thus, this video that got 250,000 views was dead when they first got published in 2020. It got 216 views. And just like the graph of this growth, it never died out. It will never die out for the next months and years to come. And it will most likely hit 1 million views, making this channel hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on this one video alone. Again, how to find your caloric maintenance applies to videos that supply with value or solution. It's a value and solution based because you're giving value on caloric maintenance. And then also, the word caloric is what stays this video in demand. This is what the key metric is. Because everyone is going to want to learn about calories and how to find their maintenance and all this crap hundreds of years from now, if this world is even around and if YouTube is even around. So this video is not based on a trend whatsoever. It checks all the boxes. It's all good to go. Now, this last example is very, very, very interesting. Okay, getting voice chat on Roblox. Now, Roblox is a game, so who knows if it's going to die out 5 years later or 10 years later, but for the best of my knowledge, it has been here to stay. It's only getting bigger. A lot of video games are not going to really die out, especially if it is a big enough corporation like Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox. Those are always going to be played for. Maybe some smaller games will die out eventually, but from the look of this graph, it got 5,000 views in the first day. Pretty decent whatsoever. And then now it's at 5.9 million views. It was posted a year ago. So this went completely viral, but not in the sense of actually going viral. It just kept on going viral. So it was a decent video that just kept on getting views. It's not going to stop getting views. 5.9 million views, probably made 5 figures, like at least 10 to 15, maybe $20,000 off of this one video alone that took probably either $5 to create or 20 minutes to film. Because again, the ability to create and supply for these content is not going to be super fancy, high-level production. That's the other thing. So then you can get these videos done for ultra cheap, $5 or less per video. This stays in demand for a long time. Roblox, it is value-based. Getting voice chat, you're teaching people how to find XYZ. You're teaching people how to get something, so it's also like a solution-based piece of content. People will need to watch this. There's already a massive demand for it. There's no reason for you not to get views off of getting voice chat on Roblox. And so that's why this channel did extremely good. Does that make sense? So that's basically the prime example of what you have to do to find the right topics, to post them on your channel that can literally replicate success like no other, that almost guarantees you not only views, but income. And that's the most important thing. Income that is going to be here to stay forever. So now imagine 100 videos just like these that are printing you a couple dollars per day. That's a lot of money passively because you don't have to chase for your next video to go viral and and then 2 weeks later die off. I literally went on a 1-week vacation to Miami a couple of weeks ago, didn't do any work whatsoever, and I was still printing thousands of dollars during that trip because of the backlog content Evergreen videos I've already made. Okay, so once you have understand that, I want to show you the automation process because this is very, very important for you to actually have a fully passive and automated YouTube channel. So to hire, you don't use Upwork, you don't use Fiverr. All of those platforms are mediocre at best. Sure, you can get some decent freelancers from there, but I personally hire the majority of my freelancers for literally $5 or less off of onlinejobs.ph. And this is going to be why a lot of the channels don't actually do well. This is not a hard plug. I'm not sponsored. There's no affiliate links for online jobs. This is literally just from previous experience. You don't have to listen to me. You can use whatever crap you want to use. But onlinejobs.ph is literally only Filipinos. That's why it has PH right over here. And Filipinos, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, are the best freelancers, period. They have good accents. They hand in work on time. They're very, very cheap. They're nice. They're cute as well. And then obviously once you hire and gather the freelancer, you want to divert them off to another platform. I just personally use Discord. Easier for communication. If there's any problems with the videos, you just text them there. And then boom, we use Trello for the workflow management. So that way we're not sending back and forth 20 video links on Google Drive. Everything is sorted and very, very efficient and managed within one simple workflow board. Completely free to use. This is basically the three softwares I use to make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year off of my YouTube channels. And that is the full automation process. If you want a more in-depth video, I have another video up on my channel somewhere. So go watch that, go check that out. And that's literally, in a nutshell, what you have to do. Instead of trying to make a browse-based viral YouTube automation content, do not, for the love of God, make stuff like this because sure, you'll probably catch the freaking lottery and then replicate the success. But what's most likely going to happen is that you're going to get something like this. Freaking 87 subscribers, 200 views after 3 months. And sure, you can maybe think, oh, but Daniel, these videos, they were dead for 3 months. Yeah, because they are literally made in a way that they're supposed to be dead for the first couple of months. I made this like months early beforehand because then if I posted this today, the saturation and supply will be a lot higher and my ability to get views will be diminished. It'll be diluted as well. So you post videos in advance ahead of time so they seem dead at first. Or you post videos that are, always going to be in demand, that has been in demand for many, many years. So then for you to get views right away is illogical. It makes sense for it to take a while to start getting the snowball rolling. And thus all these videos seem dead at first, but then they inevitably pick up and then never die out. But I can 99% sure guarantee that if you check back on this channel 6 months later, it'll probably still be at 247 views. This video right here will probably be at 92 views. This one right here will probably be at 17 views. You'll get -1 view because this is not solution-based. It is not evergreen-based. It's just convincing people to watch your video. And if it doesn't get views within the first couple of weeks, it's probably not going to get views forever. Unless the topic and concept of the video is evergreen, which is exactly why and how we defy dead ideas or dead channels. Does that make sense? I hope what I showed everything within this video actually makes sense. And if you do want to work with me one-on-one, shameless plug, again, go to the link in the description of this video. You'll be landed to this page. So this is going to be my mini course video training, which it goes over A to Z on how you can actually start this content and this channel for yourself. It's a 17, 18-minute video. You can watch it in 2x speed. And then if you like this video that I have presented for you, mini course, whatever you want to call it, you just click this button and fill out the application to work with me one-on-one. Again, this is super high ticket, so I'm not going to be accepting everyone within my one-on-one mentoring. I do actually care about you committing and putting in the work because sure, you can pay me some money. I don't really care though if you're not going to show up every single day and put in the work that you're supposed to make this actually work. So I do check every single application. And if it does seem like you're a good fit to work with me one-on-one, I'll have a chat with you over on Instagram or whatever contact you have, and we'll go from there. So other than that, get to work. Let's get after it. Let's crush it. Let's make a bunch of money. I'll see you guys soon.